We got start up here in the front. We got a 112-volt battery on the front of the trailer. We do have a battery disconnect on the tongue. For when the trailer's not being used, you can turn the battery disconnect to the off position. That way it doesn't drain your battery. There's three things on the inside that's going to drain your battery: your LP carbon monoxide detector and your TV booster. Pull from the 12-volt system at all times. So that's the reason for having the battery disconnect, where you can turn it off. That way it doesn't drain your battery when you're not using it. It also has the two 20-pound propane cylinders that are actually full, except for what we use to service the trailer. It doesn't have an auto changeover. It has an even flow regulator. So if you have one bottle open until it runs dry, or you can open both of them and it'll pull from both of them until they both go dry. There's no way to fix it to where you can just work off of one until the other one starts. On the cover, there is two tabs on the bottom that holds the cover in place with a bungee cord underneath the metal rack, and the two buttons on the top are the quick disconnect, so that you don't have to take the cover off every time that you want to turn the propane on or off. It does have a light for hooking up at nighttime. Has the up and down stroke button, and there is a manual handle in front that goes through the top that will manually crank that jack up or down. For any reason, it won't go on its own. It does have the chain holder and 7-way holder on the left side of the tongue as we start down the side. Keeps your 7-way up off the ground, keeps it from corroding, and keeps your chains up off the ground. This side here, it is also prepped for solar panels. The other handles are on the other side, so we'll go around to it. It does have the TJ strong arm jacks on it. The jacks have to have the T handle loosened up, run the jacks down till they hit the ground, just about a turn past that, and then tighten up your T handles on your TJ strong arms. Gives you more stability, keeps the trailer from rocking less while you're walking through the center of the trailer. On your dump valves, the front one is your black tank, which is the sewage water. The second gray handle will be your bathroom sink and shower, and the third gray handle will be your kitchen sink water only. Lug nuts on the trailer has been torqued in 100 foot-pounds, so it's recommended on the side cold. And there are air ducted pressure, which is 80 pounds on the side of these. We do have a door for going in the back, into the bunk area. Good place to store bicycles and bigger objects. Does have a 50 amp service cord. Service cord's about 30 foot long, 36 foot long. City water connect and a black tank flush. Either one of those connections, when you're hooked onto with a water hose, needs a pressure regulator to cut the water pressure down to between 41 and 45 pounds of pressure. Just keeps the lines loose from blowing inside the trailer from blowing loose. It also has a park cable hookup, satellite hookup on the back, and an outside shower. It gives you hot and cold running water on that corner of the trailer. It is also prepped for a backup camera and a ladder. It does have a spare tire on the back that's air ducted pressure, but it's not been torqued on, it's been put on with a wrench, and it does have a new Parkland RV tire cover. As we start down this side here, the first connection is the outside of the hot water heater. It is gas and electric. Gas switches in the lower left-hand corner on the outside. Your gas switch is going to be on your monitor panel on the inside. Also has a drain plug for draining the hot water heater in between trips and for winterizing and dewinterizing purposes. But it is also an anode rod. An anode rod draws all the impurities out of the water to it, starts eating up the rod instead of eating up the inside of the tank. Anytime the steel rod in the center is showing, it's time to replace. But that is where you'll drain the hot water heater between trips and for winterizing. You always want to make sure that you got water in the hot water heater by popping the pop-off valve at the top to make sure the tank's heater is completely full of water before you turn on electric or gas, either way. It does have two outside speakers. I'll have to show you more about the speakers when we get to the stereo on the inside, but there is a 110 outlet out here that you can plug your TV into, park cable or antenna hookup, so that you can watch the ball game underneath the canopy. It does have a stove vent. For the stove vent to work properly, the two tabs have to be lifted up, allows the flapper to flap. But when you get ready to travel, you want to push those back down and lock them into place so that it don't sit there and flap till it breaks out. Outside of the furnace, sucks cold air at the top, hot air out the bottom. I always suggest putting a mud dauber screen over the outside of the furnace for the simple fact that it's less than $15 for the mud dauber screen. It's $1.45 an hour for us to take the furnace out and clean the mud daubers out of it. Freshwater tank fills is your next connection. The drain for the freshwater tank is between the axles, the big 2-inch white valve. We also have a port spray connection out here to the outside. Port spray hose is in the front compartment. Hooks under this and gives you cold water only on this side of the trailer. Outside kitchenette. Refrigerator has controls for it in the upper right hand corner. And then you also have your outside grill. Pulls out, hose hooks to the back of it, comes down and hooks to the connection in front of the front axle. Make sure that it's cold before you slide it back into the hole. Two low water drain points that are used for winterizing and de-winterizing of the trailer. And then in the front compartment on this side over here, it gives you your handles, your drill adapter, little handles for the front tongue jack, the bigger ones for your TJ strong arms. The little drill plug here to the side is to put in a cordless drill to run the jacks up or down. And then you also have your port spray hose on this side over here. It's got a dry erase surface on the inside of the compartment so that you can write down your how to pack up your trailer or how to unpack it as you get to the park. Now we're going to go back. Once it's level on the side to side, front to back, we're going to go back here, put all your TJ strong arms down, and then the steps is your next thing. We're going to open the door all the way up. Little blue handle on the left hand side pulls the steps loose from the door frame. As it comes out, it has a little push button underneath each one of the legs. There's 15 to 18 slots in the bottom of the legs for adjustment. The main thing on the step is it has to fit flush in the threshold for the door to close over the top of it properly. So once it lays down, it needs to be laying flat there so that the door comes over the top of it without scraping. Now we're going to go inside. It does have a new fire extinguisher on the left-hand side as we come in. We also have our GFI outlet at the kitchen sink that protects all the 110 outlets that's in the trailer. We're going to run the slide room out. You always want to make sure there's not a tree or a vehicle parked up alongside when you run the slide room out. We're going to come back up to the battery button. Check it. Shows you the battery's fully charged. To get an accurate reading on that, you really have to have the 110 line from the trailer unplugged. Second one is the freshwater tank. As it fills up, it'll show 1/3, 2/3 full. Black tank is your toilet water. Gray tank is your bathroom sink and shower. And galley is your kitchen sink water only. The red button right down below that, the first one to the left-hand side, is the water pump switch. It turns the water pump on between the freshwater tank and the faucets. The second one is the gas side of the hot water heater. We're going to turn it on for just a minute. Little red light up at the top, door side fault light comes on. Little red light's going to stay on for about a minute. Once the light goes off, it goes through 2 lighting processes to light on gas. For any reason it does not light on gas, that little red light will come right back on. First light switch here turns your LED lights on your awning. Second one turns your accent lighting above the slide room and underneath the cabinet. There we go. Then we have a dimmer switch for the living room kitchen area. Tap it to turn it on. You tap it and hold it and they will fade out. They said they would. There they go. Tap to go off, tap to come back on. Hold the button down and the light bright back up. First switch out the bottom runs your slide room in and out. Second one does your awning to run it in and out. We're going to run it out as far as we can. I don't think we can get it all the way out because of the motorhome parked up towards the front. But we'll run it out as far as we can. There the skirt's starting to hang down. Now on the bottom of each one of the awning arms, there is a pinch point that you can pull down on to put the pitch of the rain going towards the back of the trailer or towards the front of the trailer. Then you have your LED lights up underneath the canvas. We're going to skip right around that. There is a light above the sink top that has to be turned on by hand. You have a 110 outlet off to the side of the cabinet. In the top drawer, there is 2 sets of keys. The purple key does the front. One does the back door, one does the front door. Then you have your 751 for your other compartments. And the back doors are marked with a big B on those. And then all the paperwork that's in the trailer is in the brown bag here. Gives you 4 drawers down there to the side of that. And then this cabinet here gives you pretty good sized storage underneath it. Come back up to the microwave. It also has a clock button on it. Let's say it's 3:30. Hit the clock button again till the 2 center eyes is solid. The reason I set the time on the microwave is you can tell if the trailer's lost 110 power coming to it if it doesn't have the proper time. You also have a light for the stove top and a fan. For the fan to work properly, the 2 tabs on the black outside connection have to be opened up. Allows the fan to come on and run. Glass stove top. We're going to lift it up 2 times up out of the way. Button on the right hand side illuminates the valves coming to the burners. Turn to the highlight position using the striker on the left hand side to light all 3 of the burners up on top. Same way with your oven. You'll turn it to where it says pilot on. You actually have to hold down on the button while you're using the striker on the left hand side to get the pilot lit. Once the pilot's lit, you let it sit for about a minute. Then you can dial your temperature up to whatever setting you need it to. And it also has a light inside the oven. Cabinet underneath the refrigerator. Take the 4 screws out of it. Accesses you into the back of the hot water heater. Hot water heater is a 2 valve setup, one at the top and one at the bottom. Both of them are actually pointed towards the tank, which lets cold water go in the bottom, hot water come out the top. When you get ready to winterize, they get turned sideways, which actually makes a loop at the back of the hot water heater so that you don't have to fill the hot water heater with antifreeze. Inside the cabinet, there's 4 screws on the panel down at the bottom there. Take those 4 screws out, excuse me, and you access right into where the water pump's at. The water pump has the same valve that the hot water heater has on the back of it. It only has one, but it is flipped to the other position, and it will suck the antifreeze from the jug right through the filter and water system of the trailer. 2 more connections in the refrigerator, one at the top for the freezer temperature, and the one down the bottom does the refrigerator temperature. On the one at the top, if you turn it to where it says colder, it keeps all the cold air up in the freezer area till it cools down to the temperature you need it to. Once it cools down, you need to turn it back down to where it says cool. That way cool air comes down into the bottom of the refrigerator and will chill it off in the bottom too. If it's in a colder position, it don't let any cold air come down to the bottom. Keeps it all up into the freezer. We do have a working carbon monoxide LP detector in the trailer. Air Excel thermostat. When you turn it on, it's going to give you your fan speed as low and high. We're going to go to cool, cool low, cool auto, and cool high. You'll dial your temperature down for your AC. Hit your mode button one more time. It says heat in the lower left-hand corner. You'll dial your temperature up for it. Hit the mode button one more time and it says off in the lower right-hand corner. We do have a privacy door between the bunk room and the kitchen area. Light switch on the wall. Does have a USB port above it. We have the round vents in the ceiling that brings air back into the bunk area. We have the vents in the floor to bring heat back into the bunk area. The air conditioner in the bunk room has to have hand controls on it. Does have 3 fan speeds, a high and low on the cool, and it indicates from where the arrows is on both sides. On the bunk bed area, we can fold the bottom one up. Folds over, mattresses lay down to make a queen bed in this area. should have pulled the top bunk down first. The bunk on the door side of the trailer has to come down first. Get that man. It does have a jealousy window at the top. Queen size mattress at the bottom and a little half bunk to the back of the trailer. With a slider window in behind it. We do have a little cabinet space in the corner. Breaker box is marked from your left to your right with your water heater, municipal, which is your 110 outlets, AC, your main, your second AC, hot water heater, general purpose, and converter. Car fuses are from the top to the bottom, with the 4 spots at the bottom being empty. Also has a red light off to the right hand side of it. When a car fuse blows, it'll have a red light indicating that the fuse that it's by is blown. They can also be seen through the tinted window in the front. We do have another 110 outlet at the doorway. A place for a TV up here at the top. A 110 plug-in to connect it into, and a park cable or antenna hookup to hook it to. We have the tabletop that comes off the 2 pedestals, goes down between the 2 benches. Your 2 back cushions come over the top of that to make a smaller bed there. The back on the right hand side can be lifted up, turned around, and put on this way, so you have an L for the couch. Both lights above the couch and dining area have to be turned on by hand. There is storage totes in each one of the containers underneath the benches. We have a working smoke detector above our head. We have pretty good storage underneath the couch area too. We also have the main entertainment for flat screen TV up here. Comes through the connections in the wall, hooks to the power booster up underneath. We have a little remote for the fireplace that has an on and off button. Temperature control. Goes low, high, or in the off position. You can change the color of the rocks at the bottom. And you also can set it between 1 and 9 hours for however long you want the fireplace to run before it shuts itself off. Hit the red button to turn it back off. The middle size remote does the stereo. On your speakers you have zones 1 and 2. Zone 1 is inside, zone 2 is your outside. But there is a 110 outlet to plug your TVs into in there, and the power booster for the TV antenna is up underneath it. The light in the hallway has to be turned on by hand. We have a light switch in the bathroom to turn the lights above us on. Your showers, just like you have at home, you got hot water on the left side, cold water on the right side. We do have heat coming into the bathroom area, and we also have air conditioning coming into the bathroom area. We also have a vent in the ceiling with a knurled knob that cranks up. A little black button turns the fan on. We have a 110 outlet in the bathroom by the sink that is also protected by the GFI outlet by the kitchen sink, and a single foot flush on the right hand side of the toilet for filling it with water and dumping. We're going to go back into the bedroom area. There is another place for a TV in here, mounted on the wall here. A 110 outlet to plug it into, park cable or antenna hookup. We do have a light switch on the wall that turns the 2 lights at the foot of the bed on by the switch. The one up underneath the bunk has to be turned on by hand. We have a USB port on either side of the bed and a 110 outlet in the closets on either side of the bed. And we also have storage up underneath the mattress. And then we also have a closet space to the left-hand side, door side, with 4 shelves on it. More storage in here, and does have a little push-button light up in the top that turns the light above us on. That is basically, and it does have a fire escape window on the off-door side in the master bedroom area. That is basically everything on your trailer. If you have any questions, I'll try to answer them the best that I can, and thank you for your time.